We're back on Instagram Live. Instagram has us now, not Instagram, sorry, YouTube. We're already live on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We pivoted to YouTube because you got to pay for X. Come on, Elon Musk. That's a little tough. We're going to be handing out some draft grades here and talking about the grades and talk about the picks that we got and the surprises that some teams made. Atlanta trading in and giving up a lot of draft capital to get 2 first-round picks on the defensive side. I'm happy to be here, man. It's Tuesday. We're cruising through the week. Episode 221. How you guys feeling?
Oh, wow. Does that sound weird for you guys to hear 221?
I mean, 200 episodes. Who even thought we'd get past 100?
No, I'm doing pretty well. Chris, how about yourself?
I'm living, so it's a good day. It's tomorrow's hump day already.
Hump day, man. Hump day.
Hump day. The camel.
Big day's over. The draft has come and gone. It's funny is that the rounds 1, 2, and 3, and 4 were getting more views than the NBA playoffs. And I think it's because I think it's because there were so many people that were like, where's Shedeur Sanders gonna go?
Yeah.
Hey, can we talk about
or just have it on in the background too? I feel like you could probably do something like that.
Absolutely. How about the prank calls going on? Not only was Shedeur Sanders, the Texas wide receiver Isaiah Bond. I could be botching. I know it's Bond. I think he got like 6. It wasn't. He got prank called, and then there was somebody. I know Tyler Warren got prank called.
They said they were Mickey Loomis.
Tyler Warren, the tight end, got prank called. There was somebody that got prank called 6 times.
Oh my God, that's so disrespectful.
Could you imagine picking up that phone that many times and just continuing to be like, oh my gosh, this is a prank?
So wasn't the kid who was it, Albrecht, somebody from the Falcons, one of the coaches, his son? I don't know if he did them all, but either way, it's kind of a stupid thing. I mean, it's gonna blow over quick.
And if you videotape it, why would you publish it? Why are you posting it?
I didn't know. Oh, what an idiot! Oh, like there's not gonna be repercussions. I mean, fine. I hope he freaking learns from this. But yeah, that's disrespectful, especially, to target Sanders when everyone knows all eyes are going to be on him this draft.
I'll be honest, the Sanders thing was funny at first. Like when you were like, dang, man, he really told him you got to wait longer. And then when you really watch the video, you're like, man, I kind of feel for him. Oh, that's tough. That's tough. Over under. I mean, I don't think anyone expected Shedeur Sanders to drop out of the top 10.
Or even, probably even everyone's the Steelers. A lot of people. I don't know why a lot of, you did call it, Chris.
You called the first round, but you didn't call the, what was it, 4th round?
Fifth.
I said he wasn't going. I said he was a bad interview. You all sent your little memes in our little chat.
That's true.
Hey, I just came back with the laughing emoji.
People wrote that narrative shortly after he had the interviews, and I think there's got to be some truth to that. Clearly,
I thought for sure
he's arrogant. He's arrogant and cocky, and he was a bad interview.
When I thought about this too, you were only coached by one guy your entire life, probably too, your dad. So that's clearly like, sure, he probably can respect people, and go through all that stuff. But it seemed like he had a lot of like yes men in his corner too. I don't know.
I mean, his brother didn't get drafted at all. He was an undrafted free agent signed by Tampa Bay.
I think at some point there's a difference between being cocky and confident. I think there's a line you draw after you get to a point with it, and it's all right. You're getting a little, arrogant, a little cocky. Happy that they're both on a team, which is cool for Dion. Knowing both your sons are in the NFL. I thought for sure the Browns, with not only the first pick in the second round, but the 4th pick in the second round, I thought for sure that they were going to take Shedeur.
Dude, what do the Browns have? Like 8 quarterbacks on their roster right now?
Yeah. So what's the deal with that? They got 5 quarterbacks.
Watson.
They got Watson, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, which shocked the world that he got drafted in the end of the 3rd round, I think it was, before. And then now you draft Shedeur, and it's like, well, what's the point of drafting Dylan Gabriel from Oregon?
If Shedeur's going to be a Toronto Argonaut, he's going to Canada. You see, they're interested in him. They want him.
No, bold prediction.
Like, what do the Browns do? Like, I think the Browns wanted Dylan Gabriel, and then at some point you get late in that draft, we're like, dang, that kid's still sitting there. So we're just going to take him.
Yeah. Or just like weed out the guys they know, like maybe Kenny Pickett's not there. Maybe they got to keep the 2 rookies, right? Like I feel like those guys got to be at least
someone's getting cut.
to some.
I feel like it's not Kenny.
Yeah,
I feel like maybe they do something with Deshaun. Maybe you do something with Joe. I mean, but like,
isn't Deshaun hurt though? Isn't he coming back
Yeah,
midway through the season or something?
Yeah, because he re-injured or at least injured, the ACL.
Rehab,
a second,
yeah.
So he's gonna start on the pup.
So they could probably have an extra spot. So yeah, maybe there's one guy that drops out of this, and I think you're right, Ty. It's likely going to be one of the rookies then, because why would you sign the
starter?
Yeah,
I think Flacco's the starter. That kid from Oregon is the backup, and Shador's going to be on the practice squad.
Like, what happens if they cut Shador? I mean, hey, there's a chance that Shador goes out there and completely shines and just proves to everybody, like, hey, I was worth a first round pick. Good for him if he does. I really hope he does. I hope he proves us all wrong. But I mean, the Browns having 5 quarterbacks on the roster right now is very interesting. Very interesting.
But the interesting thing about Shador is, you know what? His dad's name holds all the weight. He throws the ball a lot. He still makes bad decisions on the field. He's not a good quarterback as far as decision making. Has a very strong arm. He's accurate, but he holds the ball too long, takes bad sacks, and then he blames his offensive lineman. And then when he does a great play, even if the team doesn't win, he celebrates like he's better than everybody else. That's his problem. Arrogance kills people.
Honestly, that's right there is probably why he slid then. Because no matter how good that talent is, it's not good enough to overshadow some of those things too.
And his dad is such a humble Christian man who leads people but the whole circus in Colorado, it was crazy what was going on in that locker room and all the rappers that came in there, all the distractions. It wasn't about getting these kids education and getting these kids ready for the NFL. It was a circus.
Isn't it wild that they retired his jersey, his number at Colorado, and then he drops to the 5th round? That just looks terrible.
Did you see what he said too? His number was number 2. He said, I didn't know we were celebrating my pick, number 2. Yeah.
The fact that they retired his jersey number over some guys is a little, not even a little, that's pretty questionable.
And the whole legendary thing with his little logos and he's a legend. You're not a legend, dude. You played at Jackson State in a bad division, and then you went to Colorado and you played in another weak division. So you really didn't accomplish anything. You know who I love? Travis Hunter. I wish the best for Travis Hunter. That kid is humble.
Yeah.
He's just such a great person. And I hope that he does really, really well in Jacksonville.
Well, Ty, it's too early to obviously judge these dudes. So hopefully they all do well. But yeah, he does. I hope he can learn through these next 2 months, because he does kind of take that bravado almost. You've probably watched him more than I have, Chris, and than both of us for that matter. So that's good insight.
You know what the main problem is with this whole thing anymore? This nil money makes these kids not respect the game of football. You're paying them to play college football, and they just don't give a crap. They're already millionaires when they come into the league. Sure, they're not going to be mega millionaires, but they have money, so they don't really need the NFL anymore. Shador don't need the NFL. He's rich.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. If you make these kids work hard, you make these kids work hard to get in the NFL, it means a lot more than just giving them all this money.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like Ace said, they can prove us wrong. I think he's got talent. I think there is confidence, but also I do agree that it's at some points there's a little bit of cockiness to him. I think the whole him and Cam Ward working out, and obviously they're just joking around and busting each other's balls, but it just looked funny. The more he fell.
You know who else was cocky and he's not in the NFL? Johnny Manziel, Mr. Money. Where's he at? Arena football.
Well, he even went first. Like, that's a whole nother debate.
That was a great documentary, though. If you watch that documentary, you kind of feel
it was. But it just goes to show that these kids, the arrogance kills you, man. I mean, it takes you years to make your freaking name real well known, and it takes seconds to destroy your legacy, just like that.
Was it a shock for you guys when the Browns they traded out of the second round with Jacksonville? Jacksonville was like what, the 4th, 5th round pick?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that right off the bat, 2 minutes into the draft, I was like, here we go.
Travis Hunter, best player in the draft.
He was happy to go to Florida over at Cleveland.
The thing that shocked me the most, honestly, is Gentry is the second highest paid running back in the league.
It's wild, like 30 million or something like that.
It's crazy.
Wait,
like they made
the
Raiders made him the second highest paid running back in the NFL as of right now. That's nuts.
He hasn't played one snap down.
Yeah.
What did the Browns get for that again? They got a one last. They got the one next year. This year's
I think
5 from the
they gave like
Jaguars.
4 or 5 picks.
Okay.
Do you know that was a domino effect for the New
Mason
Orleans
Graham.
Saints? Mason Graham was going to fall, right? Because Cleveland wasn't going to take Mason
Yeah.
Graham there. And then the way everyone else picked it, the Saints were in perfect position to take Mason Graham. When that tweet came out, I was like, you've got to be kidding me, man.
Well, you know what's funny is you know the Rams, who never cared about first round picks, have 2 next year, and so do the Cleveland Browns. They have 2 first round picks next year.
There's a lot of teams that are stacking up with first round picks next year because next year's quarterback draft looks absolutely insane. And I just keep seeing more and more about it. I'm just like, that's the draft that you want to be a part of. Like, if you want to have a sucky year, like this is the year to be. So.
Dude, did you see Quinn Ewers was upset because Miami drafted him? He was so upset that he drafted so late. Tua is a concussion away from him being a starter there.
Yeah, well, they have Zach Wilson there too, so there's gonna be a little bit of competition.
Zach Wilson's horrible.
Zach Wilson had a good preseason with Denver and Sean Payton. I didn't see the video of him being upset. I did see the video of all the mounted animals in the background though.
Yeah, Hunter. That's a big Texas hunting family right there.
Yeah. Draft is fun to watch, man. I watched it. I was heading my way to bachelor party in Tampa Bay, and we were watching the car the whole time. There's nothing like watching that first round of the NFL draft, and then the second and third because you get some studs in there.
There was some good depth at a lot of positions outside of like maybe. I obviously a lot of people shine on the quarterback, but like the running backs, even there was decent depth tight ends. There's always going to be receivers, O line, D line. I think a lot in general. It was. Wow, the heck, Judkins. I was hoping the Vikings would have taken Judkins in the third, like the Ohio State running back. For instance,
Cleveland got some snags, man. They picked up some good talent.
Oh god, the Patriots, Cleveland, the Patriots. If you just look at like who the Patriots signed in the offseason, for instance, and then their draft picks, they look. I mean, like Patriot to whatever the ad. Yeah. So I don't know.
They have Arizona, Carolina, Cleveland, Dallas, Jacksonville, all at A+ for the draft grades.
That Arizona got the top corner that I thought the Vikings. He fell out of the first round, Johnson? Actually. Yeah, yes,
wild. If he stays healthy, it's a steal.
Oh yeah. Because people. Was there an injury? Do you guys know anything about an injury?
He just has some soft tissue injuries that he's dealing with.
And those are the worst injuries ever.
And that's why he was his top 5 pick.
Well, the Cowboys' second and third round picks, they could have been first round picks. That's why they got an A+ grade. They got steals. I mean, that Siobhan Ravel, I mean, they got him as the second best cornerback in football in the draft, and they got him in the third round because he had an injury.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then we got that Donovan, I can't even pronounce his last name. I'm gonna botch it, from Boston College. He had 16 and a half sacks last year.
Yeah, so
and this might be last year's grass. That's embarrassing.
Wait, I feel like it's crazy. We're finally getting into our
that's
picks.
Horrible. Of course, you'd mess up the Cowboy one. But yeah, the Cowboys got look. Honestly, I was laughing when the Saints took an offensive tackle, even though it was a great pick. And then we get down to the Cowboys, and me and Noah are all pumped up, and they go,
they do the same exact thing.
I went to my room and I just walked away.
It's so funny. They were live. There's like these. How do I describe it? There's like these meeting rooms, I guess I could say, where like you just see like their little icons, and like there's just on Twitter there was this meme going by like when the Saints drafted the offensive lineman, like it is some Southern boys, and they are just like cursing that you effing kidding. I'm about 5 beers in, ready to go fight someone at the bar because they just drafted another offensive lineman.
Oh, we got 3 offensive linemen in the last 4 years, and their all first names are Tyler.
Yeah, that's why I saw that stat. I saw that. It's actually insane.
I saw a meme too where they had Jerry Jones on the screen, and the guy had a gun to his head on his TV.
Oh,
and like, Jerry, don't mess this up. But look, honestly, this kid Tyler Booker from Alabama, he hasn't allowed a sack in like over 1,000 snaps, so I'm kind of happy.
Wow.
Although I didn't want him, I wanted that the kid, the receiver from Texas, who ended up going the freaking Green Bay.
That was a great pick.
But you know what? Overall, you never know what you get. Even if you think you have the best picks, they still have to go out there and perform. So
give us your Dallas grade. What actual grades that they're saying out there? What's your grade, and just how did you like give us your draft recap for the Dallas Cowboys?
They said for an overall grade we got an A+, but they said for the day one grade we got a B+, and then A+ for the next 2 days. overall, you know what? Honestly, I'm glad that the one thing I'm upset about is we didn't get a receiver. Now they're talking about us getting Amari Cooper or somebody like that. We did pick up 2 undrafted free agent ones. One's from Texas Tech and the other one's from Oregon. So you never know how it's going to play off. But right now our number 2 is Jalen Tolbert. So and that other guy that Mingo guy we traded for from Carolina. That's our number 2 receivers right now, and I think it's going to hurt if we don't pick up somebody. I mean, we picked up 2 running backs, so I'm not sure what they're going to do with Miles Sanders and that Williamson we got from Denver. So we picked up Jaden Blue from Texas, who's supposed to be a really, really good running back. And we picked up that other running back, Phil Mahafa, whatever his name is, from Clemson. Overall, I think it's a good draft. But again, you never know until they get on the field.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Yep.
never know.
Yep.
You never know. We can have all these opinions, hate it, love it. And in 2 years, like, that was the best draft class. That was the worst draft class, whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So overall, you gave it a what? You gave it a B?
No, I give it an A.
High praise. High praise.
I'm happy. We filled our holes. We picked up edge. We picked up an edge player who had 16.5 sacks. Like I said, picked up a great cornerback who could be our number 1 because Diggs is always hurt. Picked up running backs. We picked up offensive line. We picked up defensive tackles. And we picked up a linebacker from Florida. So overall, I think we filled majority of the holes. We just have to get a receiver. Is Amari Cooper the answer? I don't know. I'm hoping one of these young studs.
The Saints too.
I'm hoping one of these young studs come out of camp and they prove themselves to be a starter.
Yeah, love it. I love the Dallas take. Ace. Let's go. I'll even pull the correct one up for you, man. This is who the Minnesota Vikings drafted from rounds 1 to 6. And I thought you guys didn't trade back from the first round.
No. There was potential.
They were taking calls. I remember seeing you could tell towards the back half of the draft who was taking calls and who wasn't, because they were letting that clock tick down. But Ace, give us your grade for the Minnesota Vikings and what you like and what you didn't like. I'll put this up on the board for a couple seconds so people can see who you got.
I think a B, maybe a B minus. So the offensive tackle or offensive lineman, I think he plays guard, but he's played a lot of positions. So knowing that was actually a benefit, or he's played multiple positions on the line was a benefit. Then we got the wide receiver in the 3rd round, second to left, the big D lineman, which honestly, I feel like overall we got like quality guys. I haven't seen any of them, but like,
who's the wide receiver? What college? Do you know what college he goes to?
Maryland. I watched a little bit of Felton and Jackson from Ohio State and Maryland. So at least Big Ten, but the other guys, like, I hope they're good, but it didn't really feel like we needed, like, sure, we could always use O-line, D-line depth. We definitely needed linebacker, and I thought we needed safety cornerback help. Nobody remembers the guy, it was either last year or 2 years ago, the guy they drafted passed away. Like, he got into a car accident, died.
Jeez.
So like, clearly that was a concern. We don't have a backup safety for Harrison Smith. There's just like, there's some holes that I thought, especially with that first pick, you either go safety with the guy from South Carolina, Imana North. I'm going to butcher that too, Chris, or Will Johnson. Heck, I would have taken a shot on Will Johnson or one of the top cornerbacks. So I'd say, now that I'm talking about it, I'd probably say a B minus. Like, they got
okay.
They got decent guys to fill in, and I think that the first 2, probably 3, are going to be likely starters, or at least Felton should at least get the 3rd or 4th spot at receiver. So he'll definitely get some reps.
So we got an A for the Dallas draft. We got a B for the Vikings draft.
B minus.
Good hot takes, guys. Good B minus. I got it down. I'm writing them all down. You know, I'm making sure we stay on top of it.
We just didn't have a lot of picks either. You guys had, how many? What's your outlook, Ty?
New Orleans Saints had 9.
Both of you.
So here's what the Saints draft looks like. 9 guys. Being a Saints fan is tough. Mediocre seasons the past 5 seasons. And this draft, if you are on X, if you are on Facebook, if you're on any kind of social media, you saw the outburst from the New Orleans Saints. I mean, they could have burned the city down. But here's the thing. I mean, like, if you listen to the inside reporters, if you do not focus on Mel Kippler, if you do not focus on Bleacher Report, ESPN, this is literally the draft that every insider I listened to was saying. You know, every mock draft had Shedeur Sanders possibly going to the Saints, Tyler Warren possibly going to the Saints.
Put those pictures back up again. Let me see.
Wait, I want to. Yeah,
Look how nice yours
Diggs.
look. You put up last year's draft for the Cowboys. Like, you go above and beyond for the crappy Saints.
I literally got all this off
Finally
Google.
drafted their starting quarterback.
Got that off Google. I mean, I told you guys in this podcast, I would have loved Shedeur Sanders. It wasn't going to happen. There was no meeting. There was no, Kellen Moore was not meeting with him. I told you guys, watch out for Jackson Dart or watch out for Tyler Shuck. I didn't want Tyler Shuck. It's not the most flashy guy, but I mean, everybody hated Josh Allen at first. You know what I mean? I will be honest though, even though every insider I listened to said, watch for O-line or D-line, that first pick. Kellen Moore, every press conference, he says, we're going to work from the inside out. Like you have to. Like that's how you start the run game. That's how you develop a good passing game, good running game. And when the 9th pick was up, I was like, man, like there's that hope and that chance. Like maybe Tyler Warren, maybe like a shock, maybe a Jackson Dart, and just hearing like a name you don't know and O-line, I'm like, all my buddies were laughing, man. You know, it's like a great
pick.
It's a great, and this is how I explain when you draft an offensive lineman. It is a great pick when you start the season. In that moment, though, you're like, that's tough. But here's what I'm going to explain. There's a lot of New Orleans Saints that are upset, fans that are upset. There's some fans that aren't. You look at these pictures right here. All of these, I think it's like 4 or 5 of those 9 captains at their colleges. Every single one of those guys have played every single game of their season besides Tyler Shuck. Now, let me tell you something. If this first pick right here is Tyler Warren or a running back, and then they draft Tyler Shuck in the 2nd round, you don't hear any of this heat. None of this heat. But the fact that the Saints picked an offensive lineman and a quarterback in the 2nd round, man, the media is blowing up. Let me tell you who Tyler Shuck is.
Stud.
Older guy in the college. But so many people talk bad about that, but there's a lot of coaches that love that. You develop in the college football league, you get more experience, you come out, you're ready.
Year senior?
Something like that. He's going to be 26 when the season starts.
Oh, wow.
And there's a lot of insiders that believe that basically stamps the whole Derek Carr is done, because you're not going to bring in a 26-year-old guy and
make him he's your starter
and make him sit. What I'm hearing from the Saints insiders, it is a Tyler Shuck and Spencer Rattler battle for the starting QB spot this year. But it's going to be hard for Tyler Shuck to lose, because that is Kellen Moore's guy that he drafted. That sucks for Spencer Rattler. Listen, this guy, I mean, you watch his tape, he's got a killer arm. I mean, probably the biggest arm in this draft class. He snuck up the boards. Everyone obviously wants to point out the combine, because he made some very, very bad throws in the combine. A lot of people want to bring up injuries, but they're not soft tissue injuries. He had a guy roll on his leg and broke his leg, and he broke a collarbone from a big hit. So I think when you look at this to me, like, I see a Saints team that is trying to compete, but also in the middle of a rebuild. I mean, you're talking about, you filled the trenches. You signed a defensive lineman in the free agency. You drafted an O lineman last year in the 1st round, O lineman this year in the 1st round. You're building around your young QB. You got some more defensive line help. You got a killer safety. This linebacker right here, Stutzman, gave $50,000 of his NIL money to walk-ons at the University of Oklahoma. Guy that brings juice. And I will say this, people are starting to like Tyler Shuck because he posted on Instagram and said, I am willing to die for this city. And people are like, shout out. Derek Carr wanted Chipotle when he first got to New Orleans. So there's I mean, I don't know. It's tough, man. There's a lot of people, a lot of professionals higher than us, apparently, whose opinions are more important than ours, which I disagree with. Who say the Saints got a C-, D. I've seen F. I personally think it's anywhere from a B to a C+. I think that, and to all the Saints fans that are listening to this that are angry with this draft, I mean, you have to understand, I put this on X. You can follow. We have 14 people join us live right now. I mean, this is pretty sick. I put this on X. I think for all the Saints fans that are mad out there, I think you have to be patient. I think you have every right to question this with the 5 mediocre seasons we've had, but you have a whole new offensive coaching staff. You have a whole new defensive coach staff. You have a head coach who just won a Super Bowl.
All I gotta say is, if that kid is the starting quarterback come fantasy time, I'm picking up Alvin Kamara and your tight end. It's gonna be dumped down city.
Fair.
Especially with Kellen Moore there in that offense. Alvin Kamara is gonna be a number 1 running back.
And that's what I posted on X. You know, I mean, let this develop for a year and then judge it. Don't hate on it yet. Kellen Moore is going to give us an opportunity to compete, and this is who they thought is going to help them rebuild this franchise. And you can question it, absolutely. I think your opinion, you have free to have your opinion, but I give the Saints a B or C+. I think that they addressed a lot of needs. They filled in a lot of gaps.
then it's an A. It's an A. I mean, if you fill every one of your holes and you're comfortable with, they don't have to be all top names. I mean, a lot of these kids are going to come out and perform. But if you fill every one of your holes, then it's got to be an A.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, man, I love it. One last look. This safety
Stop
right
it.
here, round 3.
Yeah, show mine a little. No, I'm kidding.
This Sanker guy, I mean, they're saying he's a steal in the draft. I mean, he was lights out in Virginia, man. I mean, that cornerback from Louisville, Ross Jackson on Locked On Saints said he could be a day one starter for our cornerback room. I mean, that's what's great about the draft. That's what's great about this NFL league. Shador Sanders could go out there and be a Hall of Fame starter and make us all eat the words that we just said. You know what I mean?
Like, he's going to be the best bench player in the NFL.
But I mean,
the Argonauts. I like that one, Chris.
Look, they're interested in him. That's probably the only team that's interested in him.
I gave the Saints C+B. That's my opinion. Saints fans might hate it. Saints fans might love it. I think you have to give it time. Let Kellen Moore develop his team.
Yeah.
I think Tyler Shuck has a killer arm, and I think with the right system around him, whether it's him or Spencer, maybe Spencer hits his ceiling here, maybe not. I'm excited. And one last thing I want to say to the New Orleans Saints fans out there. We could be in the same old boat with old Dennis Allen drafting the same kind of players every year, and you know exactly what plays are going to happen every down. We have a new head coach that drafted a new quarterback that nobody expected. It's all new, and that's exciting. I'd rather go into a season and win 5-6 games with a young QB than have the same mediocre team and win 5 games. You know what I mean? Like
we'll keep saying this over and over again.
Guess what?
The Saints are in first division in football, so they have a great chance of winning it.
Well, and Ty, guess what? I was just thinking about this. Kevin O'Connell, former quarterback. Kellen Moore, former quarterback. I feel like they got a pretty good idea of what they need to look for, at least at the quarterback position.
Okay,
hopefully.
settle down with Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore had a great college career. He played one preseason game, broke his leg, and he became a coach.
Hey, our head coach, our head coach, our offense coordinator, our QB coach, and there's another coach in there, all 4 former quarterbacks. I mean, what better coach to have to build up a quarterback?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying, man. That's what I got for the New Orleans Saints. Dad gave Dallas an A. Ace gave the Vikings a B-. I gave the Saints a C+B. I know Lance Moore was not happy at all with the picks when I listened to his podcast, but man, that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
He wasn't happy? Wow.
Look, Lance Moore is as good of a commentator as we are. His career was short-lived.
Whoa.
He had
Lance Moore was
few
great.
good years. Okay.
I love listening to Lance.
Okay.
He's on there with Ross and them. That hurt, man. That hurt.
Look, overall, the NFL gave the Cowboys an A. They gave the Saints a B. They gave the Minnesota Vikings a B. For some reason, they gave the Saints a C+ in the second round, which I don't know, maybe because of the quarterback. I don't know. That's stupid, but
that's what it is.
They gave the Minnesota a B in every round.
Okay.
Again, whatever.
I guess.
Yeah. Look, rookie camp starts soon, and then they'll come out, and then they'll have their camps, and then before you know it, we'll be in preseason, and the season will start. And just like that, it'll be over, and we'll be on here. 2 of us will be on here complaining how bad our teams are, and one of us will be talking about a Super Bowl.
This guy.
I heard today JJ McCarthy said he's ready to be the starter for the Minnesota Vikings. So,
they signed Sam Howell. Come to think of it, I forgot that as a backup, which I think is a good move. Officially, probably makes them out of that era.
Who Vikings? The Vikings signed Sam Howell. Did they trade for him or did they sign him?
I thought they just signed him as he must. So somebody must have released him, right?
The Seahawks. He was with the Seahawks.
Was he? Okay, yeah. My guess is they probably released him then, because who did I mean? They have Darnold and oh god, who else did they get? Oh no, they did trade for him.
Yeah, they got because they drafted Jaden Milroe from Alabama.
Oh wow, okay.
You know, I saw a little inside to his interviews with some of the teams, and his one interview, you know, they asked him like, thank you, Jordy. He was traded for a 5th swap. Jordy is the Vikings fan that he is. He's watching today. So Ace, you need to be better at this.
Shout out.
What I liked about Jaden Milroe is they asked him, "What's your weakness?" And he started. You know, some guys will lie, say, you know, like just got to work on it. Like he went through it, labeled all of his weaknesses and how he's working on them this offseason. And whatever coach this was, they were like, "Why aren't you afraid to let a team know all about your weaknesses?" And he goes, "Well, would you rather have me be honest with you and show you how I'm working to be better or to lie?"
Yeah.
I was like, dang, brother.
No, ask Jordy. Who do you think the starter is from Minnesota as far as quarterback?
Oh,
And
I know what it is, Jordy. Who you thinking? I know who exactly.
I'm gonna put this out there right
JJ.
now. I'm gonna put this right there right now. The NFC North is gonna be the best division in football again. Those divisional games are gonna make or break who wins that division. But that's gonna be the best division of football. And I gotta tell you, you know, honestly, I think Green Bay, with the young talent they have as receivers, I think they probably have the best receiving core in football.
Bro,
Even though some of those guys,
Yeah.
they might not be there because they're not signed yet. But I think Golden, Dobbs, Reed, man, they
took that kid from
dynamic
TCU,
young kids there.
Right there's Shorty's answer. JJ, easy money. Come on.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh
Easy
my God, man.
money.
I guess
man.
you guys didn't watch him at Michigan, man.
Bro, he was great with Michigan.
Great handing off the ball.
Well, he had Blake Corum with him. Obviously, they're going to hand the ball off. Hey, in crunch time, though, when we needed a touchdown and we needed his arm, did he not come through?
I'm sorry. I'm a Michigan fan, but they did him wrong, man. They did not let him throw the ball. It was Mr. Let's hand it off 40 times a game.
You know what? We won a national title.
I understand that, but we won it on running the ball and defense. We ran the ball 35 straight times against Penn State. 35 straight times against Penn State. It's ridiculous.
We had a good running back room. We had a good running back room.
Yeah, that arm is well.
How many of those running backs went in the first round?
Did Corum? What round? He was the only one that got drafted. Oh, I know he didn't go
in the first round.
Thank you, Jordy. Jordy's got my back. We ran a pro style offense, and JJ did show up when we needed him.
Look, I like JJ, but I just think they did him wrong, man. I would love to have seen him throw the ball 30 times a game, 20 times a game, more than with the 15 or 10 that he did a game.
All right,
and I like Jim Harbaugh, but I just think they do quarterbacks wrong. I really do.
You know,
before we go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say Jim Harbaugh let Herbert air it out like the second half of last year. It seemed like they were kind of getting used to each other. And the end of that, like he was putting up yardage.
Would they do again? Would they do again this year? Would they do again this year in the draft, first round? Omar Hamilton from North Carolina, running back.
Yes, yep, yeah, Harbaugh.
Bro, that's a good running back, and they got Najee Harris. Before we log off for the night, what was one big surprise in this draft? And what do you think? What team do you think made a bad move, like a fail? Because I'll say my fail first. I think the Falcons, man, trading back late in the first round and what they gave up compared to some of the other teams that were able to sneak in.
But they got two stud edge players.
100%. They got two really solid defensive players. But like, I just feel like to sneak in, it was like the last bottom three.
Yeah.
And they gave up a next year's first round pick, not even like just a second and a third or something. Like I was like, dang, man, like they gave up, and like there was a trade either before them or after them, and it was like 10 times less. I was like, brother, you just gave up half your stuff.
The thing that shocked me, and it wasn't a bad shock, was the Giants coming back into the first round to pick up Dart. And I've said it how many times, the Cowboys, they're in trouble. I think the Giants, I said it, we're a quarterback away from passing the Cowboys. The Cowboys now have the oldest quarterback in the East. And Dak, who had seven major injuries, is I think the Cowboys are in trouble. I really do.
So I think for mine, because I was leaning toward the Giants, but then the other one was the Jaguars never even had communication, I think, with Hunter. But they said that they were targeting him the entire time. So to make that move to trade up, I thought that was pretty key. Because
that was mine too, for a surprise.
And I think he's gonna play both ways. It just seems
they said
like,
it. They told him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe not like full time one way or another, but you got to get him on offense. You got to get him at least 5 to 6 touches a game.
Yes. I would have that conversation where I'd be like, listen, we want you both ways, but we're probably going to like lower the snap count on the offensive side.
Yep.
I honestly think the worst team that drafted was Cleveland, wasting 2 picks on 2 quarterbacks. Even though you have 2 picks next year in a great quarterback class, you wasted 2 this year on quarterbacks. I think that was just bad.
I think the Raiders had a great draft too. You get Genty, and then they get that great wide receiver out of is it TCU also, where his brother died?
Back, right? Or something
like that. And they got Bowers there, man. Like if they get, they have Geno Smith. So I was gonna say when they get their quarterback, but that's a team that they're making some moves over there.
You know what I like about the draft, though? I like how sincere Roger Goodell is when the players come up. You could see the love in the hug that he gives those players. And then a shout out to that last guy that was in the green room that was there, like on what round was it, like 6? He got drafted.
Yeah, I think
and
was he
stayed there the
Kentucky?
whole time.
I think he was a
came
Kentucky
out. I love it.
receiver or something.
I love the fact that Roger Goodell came out and actually introduced them and did the whole thing. Like it was the first round. That was great. I applaud the NFL for that.
I love the draft. It's great to watch it. It's fun to watch it. It was a beautiful. I mean, there were a lot of people there, and like we said, the Ravens killed it past the NBA playoffs, which is hilarious.
Oh my God! Yeah,
you know what was a
Green Bay,
+2?
Wisconsin. Green Bay, Wisconsin. Man, that was great there.
You know what was a +2 this year?
Yeah, great atmosphere.
You didn't see so many of the times go down to the final seconds. You saw a lot of drafts. They got in there quick.
Yeah, thank
and
the good Lord.
The first round was moving pretty quick.
Because sometimes, man, especially the first pick, like, listen, we all know Cam Ward's going. You see, what was it, Warren Moon? He unretired his jersey for him.
That's awesome.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
But yeah, number one, I think. That's really nice gesture.
Good day.
What was
I think the most shocking thing was that Loveland got drafted before Warren from Penn State.
Ooh,
listen,
yeah,
was
another one.
And we're Michigan fans. And I was like, I don't know about that one.
Yeah. I mean, Loveland has great hands. Don't get me wrong. I mean, that was the only time that McCarthy threw it was the Loveland.
Yeah. I mean, the Bears had a good draft too, in my opinion.
Yeah, I look. That's why I said that's gonna be the best division in football. I think all
those
teams
the Bears
loaded.
took a receiver. I'm pretty sure their second pick that was really good.
Yeah,
let's see if I can.
The Cowboys are gonna end up with Amari Cooper or Keenan Allen. That's who our number 2 is gonna be.
Oh, I just really want to before we. Oh yeah, the Bears got that guy from Missouri that didn't get drafted in the first round.
Yeah. I think the most heartfelt moment was I don't remember the kid's name from Pittsburgh where he got drafted.
Dude, the defensive lineman in the first round.
His mom was in the hospital, and as soon as she got that call, like a couple minutes or a couple hours after she passed away.
Yeah, she was on life support.
Yeah.
Oh my. Yeah.
It was wild. There was a lot of stories like that.
It's a good thing he didn't go later on in the round.
Yeah, golly.
Oh, gee. Well, and same with the kid with like you said, Ty, for the Raiders. The guy
his brother died within like the past year, man. That was sad.
Yeah.
He was in that New Orleans terrorist attack.
Yeah.
So, but that's our draft recap. I mean, we can't wait. We got rookie mini camp coming up. We got mini camp, OTAs, Derek Carr drama next.
Cuts are coming up.
Cuts are coming up. We'll talk about the Derek Carr next week, how he went on church in his stage. Typically preaches once a year, and just start talking about the New Orleans Saints updates.
Oh no,
we'll talk about it. I mean, his wife did have a miscarriage too, so I mean, prayers out to his family. But
shout out to New Orleans. It's still hot as hell out there. Noah just came back from New Orleans. He said it's hot. Humid. He does not like it.
It is hot, man. But we love you guys. Don't forget to share the love once a week. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We'll figure out Twitter. Check us out on social media on Twitter. So you can follow either one of us and
Cowboys
on our Facebook page, Instagram page. We got some merch coming.
Vikings going to the.
It's the only time we can say it because once the season, once
Tyler
week 1 hits, we know exactly what we have.
Tyler Shuck's taking us to Super Bowl, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
We're all going to Super Bowl. It's my first time ever. 3 teams are going to be there.
Well, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. And
we'll be there watching.
We'll see you guys next time.